In our board talk episode, we are going to talk about Dominion. Not necessarily this one, but the whole in the series, almost, how it changed our life coming up.
Hi, it's Tarrant here.
And Stella from Meeple University. Welcome back to my Tabletop diary. In this episode, another board talk, we're going to talk about Dominion. This is one of the games that kind of changed my life in terms of board games. Not necessarily this one, but the base Dominion, because I started with the basic one because it's more simple and so on. And that's how I actually know about deck building and so fascinated by it.
Yep, and it was a pretty key gateway game in my journey as well.
Yeah? How was that happen?
It was just one of the early games. Again, it was the base version. It was new and it was a style of game I hadn't seen before and it was very intriguing.
So, do you use the curse? Because I remember the first game ever, I did not use the curse because we want to kind of like play a gentle game.
I don't specifically remember. I remember playing 2 games of it that night. This was before we met, with different sets of cards. I think one of those games had curses. I don't remember if it was the first or the second. It's not something we use very often when we play, but yeah, it was a 4-player game using the base cards. I remember lots of ironworks as getting used. Let's set that down.
Yeah, I remember something similar in a public game day, and somebody suggested Dominion, and I think we used like a library copy Dominions, and all of the cards are sleeved, and they just like it's not the best sleeve maybe, or it's probably been used a little bit, so it's kind of like every time we shuffle it just like goes everywhere. It's so slippery. Like, you know, with some of the card I think more slippery, and this one is particularly quite slippery and it goes all over. But anyway, I was like, wow, what's this game? It's called deck building. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So you kind of like start with not so good cards and then you building up your deck. And since then, like, kind of like, oh my god, and then I'd skip buying more and more of this Dominion. And Tara knows I really like it. And you actually made, I mentioned it probably in one of my previous vlogs, that Tarrant's actually made the whole Dominion custom made, like every single card. Well, it's not necessarily balanced action, maybe. I don't know.
Very imbalanced the one time we played it.
You don't actually test it. It's like, it's just for thematic, like every single our live event for every single type of cards. And even there's this one where you have an old jacket that I was like trying to get rid of, and then finally got rid of it. And then there's a card with a photo of him and his old and jacket with like holes all over it. Anyways, and then there's another card with him and his new jacket, which is the current one, which is the blue puffy one that you've probably seen around. So there's a card that says, you know, get this and then trash the old jacket and you get the better card, which is the new jacket with his photo. That was just genius.
I like to think of the old jacket as having more pocket access.
With all the holes around it? Come on. And then little holes like down below, so you'll lose one.
Into the lining, which is also a pocket.
Alright, so enough about that. So that was like really, really, really impressed. I was really, really, really impressed it was my birthday. Yeah. So really impressed with that. Like every single card are made, as you can see it here.
Yeah. Back to the
actual Dominion.
Back to the actual Dominion. I think one of the things I've found with Dominion over the time is that I like playing it 2-player. And, you know, you might ask why it really matters, because it is a fairly solitary sort of game. And I think what I like about it as a 2-player, there's probably 2 things. One is that I've never had a 2-player game of it that has ended through any trigger other than all the provinces being gone. And I just like that vibe of it being a race for the provinces. Whereas in the 4-player games I played, it tended to end because 3 of the kingdom piles were gone. So that part of it I like. And I also like the duel aspect where you can see if someone's getting certain sorts of cards, you can respond to that. Whether it's a certain attack card that you need to balance off against, or if they're getting long play cards and you're like, well, I've got to do a short play strategy. I like that dual aspect. It's a light dual aspect, but I do like it.
I think, again, with the previous discussion, I think Tarrant likes a little bit more control over what's happening and what's going to happen, what he can do, while I think it's a bit chaotic with more than 2 players. Is that correct?
It can be a little more chaotic, particularly when there's attack cards. I think there's also a bit more downtime.
Yeah.
It's sort of, because you are playing
Very
your
solo.
deck a bit, it can be pretty solo. So maybe that's another reason I like it 2-player.
I have played with 6 players. Have you played with 6 players? With the expansion, the base deck expansion, you can play with 6 players.
Yep. I don't
You
I
don't
might
think
have
so?
played with 5 once.
Yep.
But I've mostly played with 2.
Yeah, okay. So I probably, personally, I wouldn't recommend play with 6 because, again, as Tarrant say, there's a bit of a downtime. And I guess that's it. And then just a little bit more chaotic in the way. I think there's slightly different rules as well on how many piles need to run out before it ends and how many duchy card or province card needs to be there available. I don't remember exactly the rules. I think it's slightly different. But yeah, I think it's a little bit too much downtime, especially if you play with slightly inexperienced players. Like even with experienced players, it's just like you have to go through 5 people and then go back to you.
Yeah, I mean, shuffling and drawing and comboing stuff together, particularly if you've got a set of cards that is one play, one action, one action. It can take a lot to get through that.
One of our friends is really good at the minion and deck building. So he's basically would always try to work out a broken combo that would take all of his decks and then just, get the best outcome out of it.
Which is always the way to play this sort of game.
Yeah.
He just always seems to find the broken combo. He's very good at it. He has a story about there's a story about an online game where a broken combo got him thousands of points. I think it just got, I don't know, I think it was a card that it let you draw your deck and gain 1 point for every card you drew, or it was a combo that did those 2 things, and it just sort of spiraled into
chaos
into
for other
absurdity.
people. Yeah.
Which can happen, and it's the sort of game, like, you never like to see a broken combo in any game, but given this style of game, if you can work, it's the only sort of game really where a broken combo works, because you've got to do the work, you've got to do the groundwork to get that broken combo. And if you can do that, all power to you. It's a quick game. Everyone will just concede and then move on. But it's, I don't mind a hard to get broken combo in Dominion.
Yeah, that's true. There's a different type of Dominions as well as events. So by the way, what is your favorite Dominion? So this one is Empires. There's a basic one. There's Alchemy. There's Nocturne, or just so many. I think we almost have everything. See something?
Seaside, Hinterlands. I think we have everything up to Nocturne. I think there's been one since Renaissance.
Yeah, okay.
Which has passed us by for now. But yeah, we've got them all, and I would have played 10% of the cards in it, maybe.
Yes. So tell us what's your favorite, and maybe we should try it, and why is it your favorite? I'm not too sure 100% if I've played every single one. I'm almost sure I have. So I only remember bits and pieces. It's been bits and pieces. It's been a while. We haven't been to tournament. I think it's just like really high level.
Yeah, I'm not very good at Dominion. I enjoy it, but I'm not very good at it, and I find bad combos. I get destroyed in a tournament. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of like depending on what other people are doing. You have to kind of like keep looking. Maybe I don't know. I'm okay. Like, I'm not that good as well, especially against our friends.
Yeah, you're a lot better. You're quite good against me. You have a very good strike record.
I don't know about that. So anyways, you touched a little bit about, there's so many things you can probably... there's so many different cards that you can almost use endless strategy, because the way you put the cards together, like from just the one box, from here to another one, and other ones, and it kind of like almost not necessarily like living card game, but you keep the way that they keep bringing new expansion, new one, not really expansion, it could be like a standalone, but a new version, and that's basically, oh, you want to keep more, you want to just get strategy and this and that. If you're really into it, that's just I won't say it's similar, because you know exactly what's in the box. It's not going to be like luck of the draw.
Yeah. And that's really part of the history of the game. It's hard to say that there's been another game. I know there's been games that have been more popular, or games that have...
For deck building?
Not for deck building, just across the gateway into gaming class. I know there's been lots of other games that have, transcended mass market and gaming and been successful and so on. But if you just think of the contribution to gaming, you couldn't really find too many games that have had more of an influence on essentially creating a mechanism than Dominion. And it still does it.
Although it's not probably the first one that has deck builder.
It pretty much developed the non-CCG deck builder.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And it's still probably one of the best, if not the best. I think what's good about it, I like that it is quick, and I like that you can make your combos and you've got to try to make it work quickly within the pace of the game. There's a lot of other good deck builders out there that add different mechanics, like Valley of the Kings, which is obviously an important one for us because that was the first game we played together. It adds the extra mechanic where it comes into your deck and then you bring it out to score with it, which Dominion doesn't do.
The basic one, I think
there's a couple of ways of doing it, but that one always goes to the same length. You've got to eat up the whole deck and then the game ends, which can, it's the sort of thing that can drag on if someone's got a big lead ahead. But you go back to Dominion, it's one of those games. It's the perfect length as well as really well set up.
Yeah, I really like it. Really have to play more of these as well, because this is like first world problem like people would have. Like, I've got a lot of games, I just don't have time to play it. But it's one of those that we're always coming back. Another one that I do like as well. I found out about it quite early in my gaming days. Not as early as this one, is Eminent Domain.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, that has a deck build element to it.
That also has the lead and follow, which this one doesn't have, which I like. Like, we just talked about other games earlier in our other videos, and there's the lead and follow that could potentially lengthen the game a little bit, but I quite like it when it's done right. Like the Tiny Epic Galaxies has got lead and follow, and a few others that I can't remember right now. Yeah. But I like that. Like, recommend us if there's a lead and follow game. Recommend us in the comment sections below, and we'll probably either forgot that we've played that or we don't know about it.
Yep. We went off topic a little there.
Sorry, okay. Yes.
Thought we were talking about deck building.
Yes. Well, that's Eminent Domain is deck building. Yeah. So, and then there's a few others.
Yeah, and you look at some of the other ways that games have combined. Like, I can see Tarrants of the Underdark under there. That combines deck building with area control.
What Tarrant of Underdark? Like you?
Tyrants.
Okay, sorry.
Tyrants. But yeah, it all sort of comes off that basic mechanic of having 5 feeble cards to start the game, or 10 feeble cards of which you draw 5, and just going from there. I mean, this is pure. It's pure deck building. There's nothing else in. Certainly base Dominion.
But it works. It works like when it comes to different variations and the events card you can do. You can even lift the card out. You can put it out, and you can do other things. I really like that. Possible endless things that you can possibly do. Like, no 2 games are the same, basically. So that's what we think about Dominion. Again, please let us know if you maybe haven't played it, you've played it. This is actually, I remember, this is how we started how to play Dominion.
Sort of.
Well, we never published this video.
Yeah, we were messing around, and they released a little base cards thing that just has the gold, the silver, the curses.
To place for 6 players.
Yep, and it had different artwork in there as well,
Yeah.
so it was sort of to pimp it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Or to play with the one that doesn't come with the gold and stuff. Yep.
Yep, that's true, because you would need it to play with this by itself. And I did a one-take, 8-minute parody how to play just using the base cards.
Yeah.
So it was very dull. You were basically just spending gold to get silver and spending silver to get gold. Oh no, spending what's the cheap one? Bronze?
Bronze. Yeah.
Spending bronze to get silver and silver to get gold. And I just sort of talk about, there's this expansion, it adds these other action cards to the game.
And then at the end it was like, oh, actually.
At the end I see the box that says this is not playable by itself. And I just tell Stella to turn off the camera.
No, you just actually say in the videos that, oh, it's actually not. No, that's it.
Yeah, turn it off.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know where the video was. It's definitely not on our YouTube channel. It's probably on Facebook or something like that.
Probably buried somewhere.
Do you think people think that we were serious about it?
I don't think we... Did we
I don't
post
think
it?
so.
We posted it on Facebook.
I'm pretty sure I
for
posted
friends,
that
I
and
think.
just as a joke.
Yeah.
And people think it's serious and some don't. But like,
No, I don't think they...
really?
Because it was just
Hopefully
on Facebook to our friends.
Yeah.
Was.
So that's it. So if
Then we also, I guess the one other thing
That's
about
not it.
Dominion, we've got the big box.
Yes.
And all of our cards are in it. And it's a very heavy
it's
box.
so heavy. It sits at the bottom of the shelf right now. So
Yes.
lucky it's at the bottom of the shelf, not at the top,
Yeah,
like last
and
time.
we'll hold that shelf up.
Yes. So that's it. So as usual, you can help us by hitting that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already done so, and join our discussion in the comment sections below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. So to subscribe, hit the Meeple in the corner, and don't forget to put that bell icon. We do different type of videos, and we also do live playthrough on the weekend, almost every weekend. So that is it. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.